down to this, folks. In the first ever Europa Conference League, it's Roma up against Feyenoord. Who's going to get their hands on the trophy for the very first time? We'll take a little look next. Prediction video today. We look forward to the 2021-2022, the inaugural UEFA Europa Conference League final, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe and keep back to all things Conference League related, Pepper Rose related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Brewski, that's right. Mourinho's Roma up against the Dutch Giants Feyenoord. Of course, we'll compete in the first ever final of this trophy, and who will actually get their hands on the trophy? We'll look at it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to VIPs. They are the patrons, guys. You know who you are. But anyway, let's get into it, of course, and hopefully, where am I? I am around about there. I am. So here we go. I'm down here. Yep, yeah, that's right. Of course, we're looking forward or looking back, of course, how we got to this stage. Of course, recapping the tables. Hang on a minute. Let me just move myself over here. I'm bloody stuck. I'm stuck in the middle. So let's get over there. Bit of a. There we go. So remind ourselves of the group stages way back when. Of course, it all kicked off around about September time, wasn't it? Lasic came out on top in Group A. Of course, Ghent joined them from Group B, and of course, Roma into Group C. With the runners-up, Tel Aviv, Partizan Belgrade, and Bodo Glimt. They actually went through the playoffs. I think we'll clarify that shortly. Into Group D, we saw AZ Alkmaar coming out as champions, unbeaten they were. Randers were in second spot. Of course, Jablonec and Cluj were tumbling out. Final, there they are. Finalists, they actually ousted Slavia Prague and Union Berlin in their group. Prague did go through to the playoffs. Copenhagen, of course, squeaked in with 15 points. Of course, just one defeat. PAOK was second best. And of course, even Gibraltar's Lincoln Red Imps finishing in a fourth spot there. 0 wins, 0 points for them. And of course, wrapping up, Rennes ousted, of course, Vitesse Arnhem, of course, who also ousted Spurs in the end. Basel coming through unbeaten over in Group H. Of course, those were the groups, of course. These were, of course, the playoffs and all that kind of jazz. That's right. Marseille, 6-1 aggregate win over Qarabağ. Of course, Marseille tumbling down from the Europa League. PSV Eindhoven the same, of course, knocking out Tel Aviv. Slavia Prague did beat Fenerbahce 6-4 in an aggregate. Penalties were the key factor between PAOK and Midtjylland. They came through. Leicester City also coming through the Europa League. 7-2 win over Randers. Celtic were thumped convincingly by Bodo Glimt. Of course, 5-1 in aggregate. Partizan Belgrade did knock out Sparta Prague 3-1 there. And Vitesse Arnhem did beat Rapid Vienna, also coming through the Europa League. Indeed, that's of course the state of play there. But what about, of course, the small match of the last 16? So here, remind ourselves of the last 16. Here it is. Of course, we saw Leicester City up against Rennes, of course, in the top left-hand corner. Of course, we have PSV up against Copenhagen. We've got Bodo Glimt up against AZ Alkmaar, Vitesse Arnhem, and of course Roma were on the left side of the bracket. As for the right side, we have PAOK up against Ghent from Belgium, Marseille up against Basel. We have Lasic up against Slavia Prague, and Partizan Belgrade up against Feyenoord. Of course, Leicester City did squeak past Rennes, as the PSV also get through to the next round with Bodo Glimt and Roma duking out once again. Of course, fellow group members they were in the group stages. PAOK against Marseille and Slavia Prague against Feyenoord. Of course, into the final four we went in the semi-finals. It was Leicester City from, of course, the Premier League up against Serie A's Roma, and of course Marseille from Ligue 1 up against Eredivisie's, of course, Feyenoord. But of course, let's recap the result. Of course, for this game, it was a 2-0 pick was for me for Mourinho's boys over Leicester City, but it actually was just a 1-0 win. But the aggregate scoreline saw Mourinho's boys go through to the final, the first ever, and hopefully a chance to get some silverware for there. That's what he does, guys. He gets silverware unless he's with Tottenham Hotspur, of course. On the flip side, though, who will be in that final alongside him? Well, of course, Feyenoord took on Marseille. 2-2 was my pickaroo for that one. It was actually a 0-0 draw, so pretty good for me. Back-to-back picks there. And, of course, 3-2 it was for final. So the Dutch Giants are there. They'll be taking on Mourinho's boys, of course. So, yeah, I've got 2 out of 2. That's, of course, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Conference League. Anyways, take a look at how you guys got on. Well, take a bloody bow. Jordan, of course, he listened to exactly what I said and got himself 100% on that one. So well done to Jordan. Of course, the chasing pack with Hans Wurst and the rest of the gang there with 1. What about the mini leaderboard? Now, this is from, actually, the master leaderboard. It's from the start of the get-go, all the way from, did we do preliminaries here? I can't even remember. But, of course, from the early stages, 80 points is Shane O'Donnell. But, of course, he can be caught by Vinny Hong and Jordan. There's just 1 point in it. And if Jordan and Vinny Hong were to get it right, we have a 3-way tie. for the grand prize. Wow, and we'll have to think about that whenever that comes around. But anyway, this is of course the link. Get involved, of course. cut4 ECL picks, and of course get your name and likes, of course, coming at you. But it is all down to this, right? But it all boiled down to this, folks. It is Roma, it is Feyenoord, and it is, of course, on Wednesday, May the 25th. Be with you, of course, taking place, of course, this coming week. These two sides, I've played each other 2 times in the past. It's been 1 win for Roma, nothing for Feyenoord, and 1 draw, of course. However, Roma do come into this on the back of just 1 win in the last 6 games, 42% form for them. Up against a Feyenoord side who've just lost 1 to the last 6, 67% form heading into this match as well. Of course, that one and only win for Roma was a 2-1 win. We'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, they've actually scored just 3 goals of Roma against Feyenoord over the course of those 2 games. And on the flip side, Feyenoord have only scored 2 as well. Works out to have a 1 goal game ratio for Feyenoord, a 1.5 goals game ratio for Roma heading into this match as well. Of course, let's talk about those games then, the previous 2. Of course, it was back in the 2015 season, of course, at the Europa League. It was at the round of 32 stage. Of course, they did play in Italy. It was a 1-1 draw way back, of course, 19th of February 2015. The reverse fixture over in the Dutchlands in Feyenoord was a 2-1 for Roma way back when. Of course, heading into this match, Feyenoord had done and dusted over in the Eredivisie. Of course, so their next match is this match. As for Roma, as of recording, I'm recording this on Friday, of course, but they will be playing. Roma will be playing Torino today, of course. So that result may have a bearing of this final. Of course, they might even play a weakened side, I think, Roma for this one. But they do come into this on the back of a draw against Venezia, which of course was back on the 14th of May. As for Feyenoord, they come into this on the back of their loss to FC Twente, of course, over in the Eredivisie, which of course made the gap between, of course, 20 and Feyenoord very, very narrow for the final points. But of course, Feyenoord did finish in 3rd, and they'll be in Europe once again next season. But of course, what about the odds for this one then, shall we, as we look forward to this game? Of course, the odds are 30-10 for Roma, 2-1 is your Feyenoord, and 5-2 is your draw. Now, that is the odds over the course of the 90 minutes. What about the odds, though, for the actual who's going to become champions at the end of this one? We've got 13-8 is your Roma. They are stone cold favourites, of course, on this one, and Feyenoord are 6-5 on this one. But what goes in favour for Feyenoord is the form. Roma are a little bit ropey-dopey, and they've also got an extra game to plan and prepare, which of course will take place today on this one. But what about me? What are my gut feelings on this one? Of course, I am a Mourinho fan. I can't sugarcoat it, cannot hide it. I think he's a character, and I do anticipate a strong performance from him in this. I think, regardless of what's going on today in Serie A, he'll be put more attention, more focus on this final, and get his name alongside his team as the first ever winners of the Europa Conference League. He wants that as priority, and that's where I'm going to go with here, guys. I don't think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think it's going to be quite a boring game. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. Roma will take up a first half lead, and they'll park the bloody bus Mourinho style, and Feyenoord will have to chase it. But I think in my gut of guts, is that Mourinho will get his hands on a bit of trophy for Roma. Of course, it doesn't really guarantee much for them next season. It just puts them in the Europa League next season, which of course, hopefully, he'll be there to guide them in that competition as well. But look at the fantastic stuff that's happened to Frankfurt in this season's Europa League. They're now going to be playing Championship football, Champions League football the following season, so that could be a passage for Roma as well. So that's my take on it, of course. But I think Mourinho will have bigger fish to fry. I think he's going to push for top 4 next season. Hopefully, he'll still be there as well. But that's my gut feeling on this one, guys. Let me know your gut feeling as well using the link cut4/ECL. But also get your picks in the old description there or in the comments down below, so I know what your thoughts are heading into this match. Get in there, get involved. And of course, we'll be back next season, I hope, for Europa League. I do enjoy it, but of course, we're going to be revamping the channel over the next couple of months, of course. Less predictions, more talk about more opinion-based stuff, and maybe bring back FIFA and all that kind of jazz. That's my plans, but I'm going to take a long, hard look at it over the next couple of weeks, heading into the month of June. But anyway, that is it, guys. Be sure to give it some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check it down. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on Patreon. Of course, you can check those out. Smash the follows over there, but also make sure you smash the subscribe here for constant football chat and, of course, football content right here at Blabbering Overseas. But that is it, guys. See you soon. Be safe out there, but until then, subscribe.